All right, family. Peace. This is Moreno Bey. Check my website out, www.publishedinfo.net, or I can be contacted at publishedinfo@gmail.com. My topic today will be child support. What is it? Um, are you caught up in this tangled web of child support? Um, do you understand why? Do you know what happened? Are you a deadbeat? Are you not a deadbeat? So I would love to see people comment in regard to the questions that I'm asking because they're legitimate questions. Um, I was a product of that child support issue years ago, and I had to ask myself, what in the world is going on? Because a lot of bros, they're being caught up in this tangled, messy web of being obligated to something that actually they are not obligated to. Now, hold up. I'm not talking or speaking about the child because that's not what child support is. You have to understand that child support is a civil debt. It has nothing whatsoever to do with supporting or taking care or teaching your children on no level. Now, if you doubt this, okay, that's on you. That would be simply because you're one of those people that don't do your research or homework. Okay. All right. Again, what is child support? Is it supporting your child, or is it a system of corporations that create contracts amongst people that are incompetent to obligate them to something? Just a question. Just a question. Now, some people may view this video and say, oh, he's just a deadbeat and he's trying to do this and do that, con artist, trying to get out of this. I'm not. No, I'm not. Not that at all. The reason I brought this topic up is because it's a very serious topic in regards to what is child support. Most people have no idea what child support really is when it comes to the contractual obligation. Okay. Now, when you have a child, that's a private thing. That's a private matter between the mother and yourself. Now, that's a situation that should be discussed amongst the parents in regards to how the child will be supported, taken care of, um, religion, health, the whole nine yards. Now, when parents are incompetent, that's when the state jumps into the matter and they take control of the issue via the birth certificate that hasn't been disclaimed by neither party, okay? Because those party to that contract are wards of the state, meaning that they are property of the state. So they have the right to come in and take care of their business in regards to your physical children, which actually are their children because you didn't disclaim it. And you continue and go to that building asking for Federal Reserve notes and filing information against the father. That's why it happened this way. Now, once you understand the fraud of child support, there's no due process. Period. There's no due process. Okay. Um, Actually, it's a gender bias crime against men in regards to how they extort finance from the men. There's very few women that has finances extorted from their compensated wages. Notice I didn't say income, I said compensated wages. So People, you got to wake up. You need to understand language and what is and what is not. Okay. I dealt with this child support issue for years until I woke up about 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I came into my Moorish nationality understanding that the land that I'm standing on now, which is North America modernly, is Morocco. And this is not something that I believe, or this is something you can actually look up. You can look this up in the records, okay? Congressional records. You can look this up. I fought the information because, well, I used the information to fight because I was having all of my finance taken from me. I couldn't survive. I couldn't survive. How can a man survive if all of his finances are being taken from a private corporation that claim they know more about you than you? Just a question. Now, child support most definitely is a fraud because one thing you have to ask yourself is the head magistrate over that administrative corporation, ask yourself this: where did they get their delegated authority from? Or do they have any delegation? If they do, what is it over? Is it over you? Okay, if it is, how? Can they show it in writing? Or do you just take people's word? Or are you simply afraid because he has a black robe on and he has a thing in his hand that goes like this? Just a question. Just a question. All right, now, there's no due process in child support. There's no trial amongst your peers. Um, the judges, they never produce any delegated authority. They don't produce their oath of office that proves that they have taken an oath to the supreme law of the land, which is the American Constitution. They never produce their surety bond information. They never produce that. Now, if they were to produce the surety bond information, that's almost like if you walked up to me and said, "Hey, man, um, give me the password to your computer, or give me the password to your credit card, or give me the key to your home." That's kind of like a private issue, right? But by them being public servants, they supposed to give you that information. Now, the reason they never give you that information because that will trap them if the people knew. Okay. So what people need to get in the mindset, especially the brothers that's righteous, they need to get in the mindset of asking these people for their oath of office in writing, asking for their delegation of authority order from Congress, proving what authority they have and don't have in writing, their surety bond information from their insurance company. Because when they violate the people, that's a liability claim in the making against their surety bonds. But since we don't know this and we're so afraid, that's why people don't do these things, and that's why they continue and tax the people via family court, juvenile court, child services, the Department of Human Services. This is why these things happen. Okay? Understand the Buck Act, people. Research the Buck Act, 1940. Research it. Stop giving out your mailing location to everybody and every corporation. Okay? Stop letting these people know where you are at all times. They tell you to fill this out. You got information, your mom's house, your mom's telephone number, your dad's information, your sister, your friend. If we can't contact you, you're giving them all of your information. You're giving them ammunition to come at you. It's supposed to be private, right? It's supposed to be private. Now, the only reason you give it to these people is because they're criminals. They threat you with guns by having bounty hunters or corporate security guards at the courthouses threatening you to do something. Threatening you to do something. And it's totally understandable. But fighting is up here. You don't have to always use these to fight or any weapons. This is how you fight because this is what they use against you. Now, all the true fathers, I respect you. I got much love for you because I'm one of those fathers that go out of my way by any means necessary to protect, teach, feed, provide shelter, clothing, the whole nine for my seed. But the thing is this, um, brothers, y'all being robbed blind. Man, I'm talking about like they going straight in your pocket, pulling it all out, and you have no balls. So get a plan together and get your balls right. Get your balls right. And along with getting your balls right, you have to get your mind right. Actually, they correlate. Because the same guys um, that'll go out in a heartbeat and do something that may harm another individual will not deal with this. So basically, I'm loosening up the information, giving you keys on how to enforce law for yourself. But before you do so, you better understand status. You better understand who you are. Put one thing in writing talking about you black. Put one thing in writing talking about you African American. And see how far you get. Okay, I can hear you people out there now stating that, well, if you put more, then they really gonna be on you. Yeah, because they know that's the truth. Okay. So child support is a fraud. You have to understand how to fight child support. Okay. Oath of office, delegation of authority order, surety bond information, and you want to place demands on these people that claim that you're obligated to them. Because trust me, they don't give a damn about you or your children. Because if they did, they wouldn't help separate the family. Now you know this, and I know this. They care nothing about you or your family. But what troubled me, what's really troublesome is how you have some sisters, mothers that frequent that place. And it's only because they're operating on their lower chakras and they don't understand the system either. Okay? Because one thing is for sure, you cannot make anyone, excuse me, pay child support. And that's the gut wrenching, ugly truth. You cannot make any man pay child support. You can't make a woman pay child support. Now, this message is speaking to the righteous. I'm not speaking to deadbeats. I'm not speaking to con men. I'm not speaking to anyone that's trying to scam or get through the system. Who I am speaking to, I'm speaking to those that are righteous and that needs remedy to get through the situation of the fraudulent child support matter. There's several case law in regards to child support from the higher courts proving that it's fraud. It's a civil debt. What people got to understand is the only way a crime can exist, an injured party has to exist. And they have to have an affidavit in writing stating that you injured them under oath. Okay? So now you got to ask yourself, critical thinking, how is it that, or why is it that men get arrested, sometimes women, even women, how is it that you can get arrested in a child support case? Now think about what I just stated. You have to have an injured party. So who's injured? Who's injured? Who's benefiting? You also have to ask yourself, what service do they provide? Do they sell anything to you? Do they offer any goods? Do they trade any goods with you? What is the whole entire purpose of family services, juvenile court, Department of Human Services, and the whole 9 yards? Is to keep the path of separating the families, particularly Asiatic families, to keep you dumb so the mission can be completed and continue of benefiting off your hard labor and your time and of you being incompetent. Now, fathers, it's not an overnight thing, but it's a situation that can be handled properly if you start off mentally preparing yourself for it. Because take it from me, take it from me personally, I don't have any issues with those corporations anymore at all. I don't have any issues with them. It's all about knowing what to do, how to do it, when to do it, strategy. That's what it's all about. So I deal with my children and their mother privately. Even she knows this now. She knows that no finance can be made or accepted by her through these corporations anymore. Because now I have made the corporations and the public servants at these particular corporations obligated. I made them obligated now. So, with that being said, child support is a fraud. This information is for the righteous fathers, not for con artists, um, not for scammers. Actually, you're supposed to take care of your children in a private matter because it was private before the state got in. It was between you and the mother. I'm pretty sure the state wasn't in the room watching y'all get it on. So you got to ask yourself, how did they get in the business? Then you got to ask yourself, what about the birth certificate? What about the social security number? What about the driver's license, the number that's connected with it? Just something to think about. Let that marinate on your head and visit my website, www.publishedinfo.net, or I can be contacted at publishedinfo@gmail.com. This is Moreno Bey. Peace, fam.